Hi, my name is Katie. This is going to be a get ready with me, which I have not done yet, but here we are. I'm not an expert at makeup or anything. I just felt like doing it today. So here we are. I've already done skincare, so if that matters. I want to talk a little bit about 2025 and the struggles with the weight loss and the PCOS and all of that, but I also want to talk about 2026 and like my resolutions and what I'm hoping happens with the PCOS and everything during 2026. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. As I've talked about, I have been on Wegovy since April of 2024, I believe. So that's almost 2 years now. It's January of 2026, which is crazy. I've lost 80 pounds. No, almost 90 pounds. I've lost like 87 total. I went from 205 to 120, and I usually now hover in between like 120 and 122, depending on the day. Sometimes I go down to like 117 and then back up to 120, so it just depends. Lately, I've been focusing on building muscle and like exercise and whatnot. Me like actually do my makeup. I started talking and then forgot what I was doing. So yeah, I've lost all this weight, and you know, seeing people that you haven't seen for a long time around Christmas is very like, it's like validating, but also people just say whatever they want to you. Like I swear, I got a lot of like, I wouldn't even recognize you if I saw you in public, which like is flattering, but also like, I don't know. There is a sense of like when people say, "Oh, you look so good." It's like, "Thanks, but like did I not look good before, you know?" And like my weight was a direct result of my insulin resistance. And it was something that I had no control over. I've talked about this before, but like I was dieting, I was exercising more than I do now, more dieting than I do now, more exercise than I do now. And I would lose maybe 10 pounds before gaining it all back while still dieting and exercising. So it's very like, it's just when people comment on it, it's like, yeah, I'd been trying hard for years before this, and people ask you like, how did you do it? And there's this stigma around like Ozempic and GLP-1s and Wegovy and all of that, and you don't want to be judged for it. But at the same time, it is the only thing that worked for me. Like, it really, truly, like, saved my life. My therapist has, like, commented, like, I've never seen you like this. Like, you're so much, like, more mentally sane than you've ever been. And, she meant that in a nice way. But, yeah, so that's why when I got the letter from my insurance saying they're not going to cover it anymore, I had a panic attack. It wasn't so much about the weight loss. Like, of course, I want to maintain, and I don't feel that I can without being on a GLP-1. But just the mental health aspect of it and what it's done for my PCOS has been life-changing, especially after living with PCOS for basically my entire life. Like, I just want to continue to be where I'm at. And, like, I don't care if I lose any more weight, really, because I'm happy with where my PCOS is right now. Like, I did ovulate late, like, twice throughout the whole year of 2025, which is so much better than where it was prior to 2025, where I was ovulating late every single month and, like, might or might not have a period situations. And, like, I had, like, maybe 4 super painful periods throughout the whole year, which is incredible considering every single period prior to that would have been extremely painful. And when I say painful, I'm not talking about like take some ibuprofen, because that doesn't help when it gets that bad. I actually am on prescribed, well, I'm not on them, but I have prescribed pain medication that are narcotics for when my period gets that bad. And I try not to use them like at all. I think I've used 1 or 2 throughout the last like 2 or 3 years, but sometimes I need them. Like I'll take ibuprofen and I'll wait like 2 hours and I'll be still writhing in pain in bed. So it's very important for me. The fact that it's not so excruciatingly painful is like that. I need to stay on this medicine for that reason. So yeah, I feel like them wanting to take me off of Wegovy, I understand like the insurance, by the way. My doctor thinks that I should be on it forever. I just feel like, I know it's expensive, but in my case, I should have been an exception because of the PCOS, but they don't count PCOS as an exception to that rule. Yeah, they sent me that letter. I lost my shit. I rushed into like getting married because I needed to get on his insurance. We'd been together for 13 years at the time of our wedding, but we were planning on a wedding in May of this year. And we're still doing that, but we did elope so that I could like get on his insurance. Also, I know this is a Jeffree Star palette. I know. I've had this for like 7-8 years, and I don't purchase from him anymore. As you can see, she's old. I don't purchase from him anymore, and I never will again. So, but I'm on his insurance now, and they don't actually cover Wegovy. They cover Ozempic, though. So I'm hoping I can get on just Ozempic. But I did find a compound pharmacy that is like $260 for a 2-month supply. If it works, I'll tell you the name. But if it's like a terrible company with shady practices or whatever, right now I'm just keeping it private until I start it. I have 3 pens left in my box. So I will be ordering the 2-month supply this upcoming payday, and then starting on compounded semaglutide after these next 3 weeks. So it's gonna be a different experience for me with like actual needles and not just a pen. But like I said, I cannot get off of this. I did see that they recently approved like an oral version that would be $140 even without insurance. So I will ask about that. I want to do more research on it and like see how effective it is. Because if it's like less effective, I don't know if it really matters at this point, because like I said, I'm not trying to lose weight anymore. I'm trying to build muscle, which will probably lead to a little bit of weight gain. So part of the goals with the new year is to really figure out like that. Like, what am I going to be on? Will it be compounded? Will it be oral? Will it be a different medication like Mounjaro or whatever? Which I have heard a lot of really good things about Mounjaro, and I have considered switching to them in the past, especially during like crazy plateaus that I was experiencing when I was still actively trying to lose weight. So it's like, I wouldn't say no, I don't think. I do feel like I could lose like 10 to 15 more pounds. I'm 5 feet tall, so 120 is on like the higher end of the BMI scale. But my doctor has told me like she's not comfortable with me going any lower. So that's part of why I've just been maintaining. And I did go down 1 dose on the Wegovy. I was on 2.4. Now I'm on 1.7. So, and I've maintained. I've been on 1.7 for 5 weeks, I think. And maybe actually longer than that. It might be more like 10 weeks. I don't remember. But, and I've maintained. Like I said, the discrepancies are like 3 to 4 pounds. And I don't weigh myself every day. So it just depends. The holidays just ended. Some of that weight gain might be true. I was 123 on the scale this morning, so it would make sense. So let's start talking about New Year's resolutions and things like that. Let me just tap this onto my eyeball. I'm using the Twilight palette from ColourPop. I'm not really a big fan of the ColourPop eyeshadows, but it's what I've got right now, so we're working with it. So, 2026, new year, new look, new page, right? I don't really like... Normally, my resolutions every year are lose weight, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight. And this year, that's not really the case. I would like to build some muscle. I would like to get a little bit more active. I try to hit 10,000 steps a day, but really, it's more like 7,000 a day. And then I'm so exhausted that I just go to bed or play video games. Like, I need time to decompress, especially as a stay-at-home parent. Like, I'm constantly on. And when she's off school, like she is this week, it's like, I don't really get a break, which is a damn shame, but that's okay. Like, we love having her home and everything. It is just like, what do we do? How do we keep this thing entertained every single day? Which, you know, she's only been in school for a couple months, and we've already gotten so used to that it's like, what do we do when she's home? I don't understand how to make this work. So, yeah, I want to just become more active. I want to use my walking pad more. Like, if I'm at 7,000 steps at the end of the day, get on the walking pad and get that last 3,000. It really doesn't take that long, and it doesn't take that much effort. But also working on getting like toned. I'm not trying to get like bulky, I guess. I do want muscle. I want the bone density. Like, there's so many benefits in weight training, and I have been like seeing a little bit of differences in the loose skin that I have, which isn't that bad. It's not bad enough for like surgical intervention, but it is like annoying, and it's like I don't like to see it. So I'm hoping that putting on some muscle will help with that and just like tighten things up a little bit. And then just keeping track of my PCOS, my periods, all of that. We are talking about getting pregnant this year. So the fear like is real. My first pregnancy was extremely hard and like debilitating pain, and I like couldn't work during that time, and I mean, it was really bad. Like, I would have to lay down in the middle of making dinner because I couldn't stand for long enough to make a meal, or I would faint. And, like, I couldn't stand in the shower, so I had to take, like, lukewarm baths almost every single day. Like, sometimes I could get a shower in, but I would faint. I was constantly really, really lightheaded, just in a lot of pain. Like, I also had really, really bad depression, which I don't think is talked about enough. Like, you can get postpartum depression, absolutely. But there is, like, prenatal depression, which is a real fucking thing, and it was, like, I had to get on medication or I would not be here today. Like, it was very, very, very debilitating. I lost weight from just not eating at all. Another thing that I want to do this year that isn't really related to PCOS at all, but it is related to my ADHD. I would like to get more organized. I did make a pretty big dent in my organizational skills in 2025. Like, I went through every single room in the house twice, dumped everything out of every drawer, cabinet, closet, threw away tons of stuff, gave away tons of stuff. We just live in a really small house. So a couple things that I want to implement is, like, anytime I buy something new, we need to get rid of something old. So, like, say I buy a new mug because I'm out, or someone gifts me one or something, then I need to get rid of at least one in my cabinet. Or, like, I buy a new pair of pants. Okay, we need to get rid of one that's in the drawers. Now, that is a whole other story because a lot of stuff doesn't fit me anymore. Most of my clothes are too big, and I've been thrifting everything. I've been trying as hard as I can not to buy new. I did buy my leggings new, but those are now too big for me too. So I need to, like, go get more of those, but it'll be easy to get rid of the ones that are too big. It's not going to be, like, you know, a big deal. I did get, like, a lot of jeans last year, and none of them fit me. Maybe 2 pairs do. So I need to go through my dresser, things like that. Just stay organized, you know? It has, like, made a dent in the amount of, like, stress that I'm under with the ADHD because my house, like, there's a place for everything in my house. Like, whatever you hand me, there's a spot for it, and I just go put it away, and it's, like, no more junk drawers, no more, like, anything like that. So that has been really helpful as far as ADHD. I did go try to get medicated for it, and because we're planning on a pregnancy this year, my psychiatrist told me no, because it could take a while to get on the right dose, and by the time I'm on the right dose, I could be pregnant, and then I can't take it, you know? Maybe this year we get a little bit more, like, manage over the ADHD. Like, we get that a little bit more managed, perhaps. Another thing that I would like to do this year is just work on parenting and being as involved as I can be. I volunteered at my daughter's preschool. I actually ended up on the school board, like, on accident. And I have not done that yet with the kindergarten, which I would like to. I just haven't had the time. Like, I've been so busy. I'm trying to do, like, lots of side jobs. And I've been, like, cleaning houses and stuff like that for people, and I just don't have a lot of time to volunteer like I did when she was in preschool. But I would like to maybe try, like, once a month, you know, something small, just to be there for the school and, like, show my support for them as well as my daughter. And I know that she would enjoy me being there too, so I'm definitely gonna, like, try and get more involved with that. One of my goals this year is to take her to, like, a bunch of museums. But we live in a small town, so driving, you know, at least an hour to get to museums. Most of them are, like, 3 hours, 2.5, so it would be, like, a whole thing. But I would like to get her out, like, get her cultured, I guess. And I think that's something that, like, at this point in her life, she would be interested in. I don't think any younger, like, she wouldn't have really been interested in it. So I, you know, didn't really, like, fight very hard to, like, go. We went to a couple last year, but and the year before too, but nothing crazy. So I would like to just get her more involved in like learning things that you don't really get to see at school, you know, stuff like that. So, and then just more play dates, you know, get together with her friends more often, although we do like every weekend almost, so I don't know if there's much more I can do than every weekend, but just, you know, get her socialized and all of that, you know, important stuff for her development. So, and get myself socialized too, make some more mom friends, and just try and like conquer being an adult, because it's really fucking hard. Another thing, like I said, I'm doing side jobs. I would like to become like a full-time freelancer. I want to work on this YouTube channel, obviously. Like, I would love to see success from that. I know the chances are slim. So like, just, this is more of a hobby than anything else, and I do enjoy doing it, but I know like at this point we need a second source of income just because of like where we're at with the economy and everything. When I was first a stay-at-home mom, we could afford everything. Like, we were fine. And then now that like the cost of everything has gone up so much, but he's only gotten like a 20-cent raise over the past like 2 years. It's been really, really difficult to like buy things like groceries and like pay our bills. So I'm going to try and supplement that in any way that I can, without having to put her in like daycare. We don't really have like family help where I'm at right now. So, and that's unfortunate, but I don't want to put her in a daycare either. So that's part of why we decided I'd be a stay-at-home mom, is because we both just weren't comfortable with the idea of daycare. I understand that people have to, and like, that's a great like choice for people. It just wasn't a great choice for us. That's like my main like New Year's resolutions: be more organized, put on some muscle, become a little bit more active, go on more hikes, like spend more time outside, spend more time with my daughter, do more things with her, like do a vacation, like something, you know. We don't really like get a lot of breaks. So it would be nice to like at least do a day trip to like a museum, you know, like somewhere not in this small town, somewhere that we can like really enjoy and like just spend time as a family together. And yeah, I think that's everything, right? That's everything that I said. And the Wegovy, getting on the compounded one, perhaps getting on the oral one. There's like a lot of things are up in the air right now as far as the Wegovy goes. Oh, my cat's screaming. Do you hear that? She walks around with like shoes in her mouth and screams. She's the weirdest cat I've ever owned. Like, I just want to focus on wedding planning, like the big wedding. We are already married, but we are having like a big wedding still. I got married specifically for insurance purposes, or it would have been May of this year. Like, we had to kind of rush into it. We still had a great wedding though. Like, it was a courthouse thing, but they let us do it outside, which was nice. And everyone that I wanted to be there was there. And like, we went out to dinner afterwards. We were planning on this place that like doesn't take reservations. I called them to be sure, like, do you take reservations? They said no. I specifically said, like, do you have a reservation for Thursday? They said, oh, we don't do reservations. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll just show up. And they have this big, giant, like, outdoor area. So it was like 12 people, which is a lot, I know, but I wasn't really worried about it. But we got there and they were closed doing renovations, which was like, why? Like, I called you and said Thursday. Why? Anyway, we walked down to this other restaurant that was like right down the street, and they were about to close for like their shifts in between lunch and dinner. They like take an hour or so and close and reopen, and they let us stay. So we had the whole restaurant to ourselves, and like they treated us so well. Like, it was the best possible outcome that we could have had that day, especially considering the original plan got like totally thwarted by the renovations that they were doing. So like 10 out of 10, I left a 5-star review for them, and like we tipped well and everything. Like, it's a memorable experience, and it was really nice of them to stay open for us. And like, I know that they probably were getting paid overtime, and like it, you know, it seemed like probably if I had worked there, I would have been really stressed out about the whole situation. So I'm really, really happy like that's how it turned out. So yeah, that was my wedding day. And then we decided to like wear our wedding attire out to the bars and see if we could get free drinks, which by the way, I didn't get a single free drink in my wedding dress. It was a damn shame. I was really expecting like at least one, you know? But no, not one. But that's okay. It's okay. We're happy to pay for our drinks. I just thought, you know, it might be interesting to see what happens when you go out in a wedding dress. So we stayed out pretty late. And then we came home and we were like, damn, we're hungry, you know? And we watched Austin Powers and we DoorDashed, Carl's Jr., I think? No, Jack in the Box. I get those two confused every single time. We DoorDashed Jack in the Box. I only like their, like, appetizer stuff. So I got all their appetizers and we just, like, that was our wedding night and it was perfect, you know? And so the big one that we're planning in May, I'm sure will be a lot more stressful. But I did have, like, a couple people in my family reach out to me upset that they couldn't go to the wedding. Which, like, fair, but, like, these people, like, most of them live out of town, and we were only supposed to have 10 people there total, and we had 12, so we were already pushing it. So, anyway, that's part of why, like, we were debating not having the bigger one in May, but now, because of, like, I'm not a doormat, okay? But I do care about my family and I care that they were upset about that. So I'm, like, happy to, like, involve them in the bigger wedding, you know? And, like, the location that we're having it at is also family owned. So it's going to be, like, as cheap as we possibly can make it. And it's just going to be a big, giant, huge celebration of us being together this long and, you know, making it through thick and thin and all of that. So I think that it'll probably be stressful, but, like, it'll be a lot of fun, too. And I think that I'll be glad that I did it. My mom is planning a Disney trip for next year, early next year, 2027. So another goal for this year is to save a lot of money. She's going to cover the hotel for us, which is great. We're not staying on property. Like, every time I go to Disney, I think I've stayed on property once, and I was, like, so young that I don't remember if we even did, but we stay off property usually, and then we ride the art bus into the parks. So basically we just have to pay for our tickets and, like, our own, you know, food, souvenirs and all that. So saving money. We went, I think December of 2024 is when we went, and we had a great time, but we underestimated how much we would need, like, to save. On the way home, we, like, ran out of money, and that was just 3 days in the parks, but we did get the Bippity Boppity Boutique for my daughter, which was, like, $200 and something, and it was worth it, and, like, she wants to do it again, and I want her to do it again. Like, I cried. It was just such, like, a cute little experience for her, and she still remembers it, and she's probably gonna remember it forever, and so I do want to do that again. And, like, for me, I know the lightning lanes aren't necessary, but for me they are. And I feel like, especially with, like, a small child, you're, like, waiting in line for longer than 15-20 minutes is, like, really hard with a small child. So the fast passes are important. And we also picked dates that are, like, relatively not busy. It is a time of year that there's a lot of, like, closures for refurbishments. So we're just kind of hoping that none of our, like, favorite rides are closed, but we go, like, every 2 to 4 years we go, and it's, you know, it's one of my favorite places to be. I wouldn't consider myself, like, a crazy Disney adult. I did see a few of those the last time I was at the parks, like, some actually, like, really crazy Disney adults, like, they are committed, okay? I love Disney. I'm, at this point in my life, I'm more there because my daughter loves Disney. Like, I, of course, like, the nostalgia and everything, but seeing, like, her and, like, how happy she is to be there and, like, how the magic in her eyes, you know? That's what gets me. I love going for that. My cat is once again screaming. She's probably got a shoe. That's the goals for this year. I hope that my PCOS gets a little bit more managed. Like, maybe we don't ovulate late at all this year, or we only ovulate late once, or, you know, something like that. There's a few times that I ovulated early, though I prefer that to being late because I start to freak out and think that I'm pregnant, and I'm not. And then it's like a roller coaster of emotions that goes on. So, you know, it's a whole thing. Working on just being able to get, like, more than 10,000 steps a day might be a good idea for Disneyland, because when I go, we are hitting every ride. We're doing everything, you know, and I will make sure that that happens, but we're going to be walking a lot. So luckily with a stroller for our baby, because she could walk, but it was nice having the stroller for storage, first of all, but also for, you know, walking around, because it is a lot, and it's a lot for her, and she was tired even without doing a lot of walking. So important. If you have any tips for Disneyland with a child, we did do it once, but we're doing it again, and I'm happy to hear any suggestions that you might have. I also started a sourdough starter 6 days ago, so she's not ready yet, but she has been started, and I'm very excited to see where that takes us and see if I, you know, become the crazy sourdough lady of the world. But anyway, I'm done with my makeup, so I'm gonna go do my hair, get some things done around the house. We have a play date today, so we're gonna do that. And I will try to keep a consistent schedule of every week. Not sure what day or anything like that, but I'm going to try to, like I said, I want this to grow. I want this to become a community of people with PCOS, people on GLP-1s, people who have struggled, like just people who are like-minded, and hopefully that's what happens someday. And if it does, that'd be awesome. But if not, that's okay. I'm all right. Just happy to like share my experience, and I just wish that I had someone on YouTube like me who had tried everything for weight loss and finally found something. And I know GLP-1s aren't exactly accessible, but I do believe that they will be someday. And I do believe that someday they're going to be like a regular course of treatment for PCOS. They're going to stop throwing birth control at you, stop telling you to lose weight, and they're going to actually help you. So I just hope that that's the case one day. So anyway, I'm going to go. Look at this. Something's got to change here. And I will be back next week.